Hello, everybody. I am so excited to be here. So welcome to Live with Jacqueline Valdez. Today, we are going to be talking about what does a producer actually do? And I'm super excited for our next guest. I know so many have been requesting different questions for today's guest. So I'm really excited to have him here. So let's welcome William Big Sleep Stewart. Hello, welcome.
Hello. How are you?
I am doing so well. I'm so excited to have you here finally. I know we were scheduled another time, and so many people were so disappointed. And so I know they were going to tune in today. So hi, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Hi, thank you for tuning in. It's all my fault. Don't blame Jacqueline for any of that. That's just somebody who's with technology who has issues. I seek counseling for it, so I'm good now. It was crazy. Then I would forget my laptop, so I couldn't do it on my phone. So it's not Jacqueline's fault. You got to blame me. I'm trying to take ownership. I'm trying to be a man about this. I'm trying to just let y'all know, like I'm just trying to let y'all know that you know what, it was all my fault. I'm still learning. Those of you who understand, I'm just a man.
I love it. Thank you. You're such a sweetheart. I love that you're getting help for that. And it's so cool. Like one of the things with like social media is that we do get this opportunity, even though it's, COVID and quarantine, to connect and to have this wonderful conversation.
Right? I agree.
Yes.
I don't got to leave my house. Y'all don't even know if I'm in my drawers. Like I did from the top.
It's all business on top and then casual on the bottom.
I'm going back to bed in the bottom. You know what I mean?
I love it so much. So how are you doing?
I'm good. I can't complain. You know what I mean? Like you got to make adjustments to what we have. We got to take the cards that you dealt with and try to get a winning hand with it.
Yeah, that's so true. Hello, Sunshine. Thank you for tuning in. Yes, lots of love for William. I love it. So let us know a little bit about your journey, because I had so many people that messaged me actually when I started posting you on social media that were like really excited for this interview.
Well, I mean, my journey, where you wanted to start? I was actually in music before film and television, and I just fell into it. It was actually my friend, like a friend of mine, Peter Januario, way back in the days. He was doing theater and he was doing acting, and he's like, Sleeps, you should get into it. I was like, man, I ain't. And it was all insecurity. I just was like, nah, I don't know, And I watched him do it, and I was like, wow. And then he always said, yo, you'd be good at it. You'd be good at it. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Good. And then actually, my friends of mine, Dorn and Dexter Bell, who are in Torn Dark Bullets with me, they've actually played my sons. You know what I'm saying? They played my sons in the movie. They actually kept pushing me to be get into film and television and get into acting. And then it just kind of so happened that I was sitting outside, dropped a friend off at an audition. Dexter Bell came down the stairs.
Wow.
We live in Vancouver, so there was maybe 9 black people at the time. No, I'm just joking. But so I call them blactors. You know what I'm saying? We were those 9 blactors in the city, black actors. We then Dexter said, "Hey man, you want to come down? Like you here for the commercial, football commercial audition?" I was like, "Hell no, I'm just there waiting for such and such." And then he said, "You dressed for it," and I just happened to be wearing one of those Nietzsche or Nice 42 jerseys. I was dressed for it. Went upstairs. Long story short, he hooked it up for me. He talked to them for me to get an audition. I auditioned. It ended up being between him and I at the end, and yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. That's such a good story, because it's like you were just meant to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, because I don't know. I was trying to be a rapper, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
I love how you just went from a totally different, perspective to, a whole different path.
Well, I believe everything happens for a reason. I started kind of looking at it from a sense of, okay, I'm going to do the MC and then start doing management. And then the group that I was dealing with started acting up. And I was, man, I don't need this ish. I don't need this. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of puts you in a weird situation where, I started doing a little bit of acting here and there. And it was just kind of a thing where, I was doing it because I was like, hey, this is kind of cool. But then I started really looking at it from an aspect of going, you got to take this serious at some point. And, it worked out. It actually just worked out for the best. I believe everything happens for a reason. And, Hey, if you'd have told me that I'd be doing this, man, shut up. You know what? Like if a psychic person told me, I'd have felt like I got ripped off. I got like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, she stole my money, and don't ever bring me back here again. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? You owe me my bread back, like, you know. but
I love it. Yeah, I believe in the same thing too, that everything is meant to be how it's meant to be. And like Sunshine said, a mega superstar was born just for fun, sent lots of hearts. Thank you guys. I love it. There's so much love for you, so much respect for you. And I love and respect how you've just really taken ownership and you've gone with it and you've just like pivoted and made whatever maneuver you need to make to, you know, make it your own and create your own path.
You know, it's funny because, you know, everybody says you gotta fake it till you make it. And like, no, I mean, seriously, but I kind of went into it with the same mentality, like, I got nothing to lose. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I tell you I'm not that good, but I'm gonna try, if you see something, you're not gonna expect like Denzel. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be like, all right, well, at least you tried. But it was more myself when I realized that the first part, it was just all insecurity. It's all insecurity. It's in you. If it fits in your head and you don't tell anybody, then nobody knows.
True.
Right? So it's all in your head. When you think people know something, then you're like, well, I haven't really told anybody. So how are they going to know if I'm feeling this way if I don't tell nobody?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of it just became going like, yo, look, if you really want to do this, you got to fight your own demons. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't take a team with a bunch of like a new franchise team that's starting out and expect them to be like the Vegas Golden Knights and make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. You just don't. Like, you just don't. But if you take your chance you just take your chances and you kind of really, you know, like bet on yourself. Like really, you know, people say it takes, you know, it takes money to make money and you've got to invest in yourself. So if you invest in yourself, I mean, you're the only person that can screw up your investment.
I love that. Those are such amazing tips. You have to invest in yourself and get past your insecurities. A lot of fear really stops people. And I love that you said those statements. It's incredible.
Well, thank you so much. But I mean, if you think about it and you look at the days that we're living in, you think about the times and you think of mental health and you think of everything that's around us, we create our own barriers and our own walls. Like, you know what I mean? Like people always want to self-diagnose themselves. I got anxiety. Did the doctor tell you that? No, I just know. It's like, what are you talking about? But you know, I can't do it because I got, you know, so you think about it. But the thing behind it is those things are real.
Yeah.
You know, whether you self-diagnose yourself or not or whatever, there's something that you feel that you know is off.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest fear for a lot of us is to find out that there is an issue instead of, you know, taking the issue head on, figuring out, being able to talk about that to people. Because the one thing that people don't realize is you're not alone.
Yeah.
You're never alone.
Yes. Yes. You're not alone. Fight that fear, guys. You can do it. Yes. You are dropping gems. We love it.
I had to learn that. So, you know what I mean? I'm not really dropping gems. I'm just being like, yo, this is the truth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. And did you have some fear when you started directing?
Well, my thing with I haven't directed lots. I just directed a few things as far as trying to get my feet wet. Okay. And I did have a fear because I've learned just being behind the scenes in film and as you're coming up and you're trying to do things, it's like I've always been the person that if you're the guy for that job, don't let me tell you what you need to do. Right? So I was always the dude who liked to sit back, learn. And Malcolm Goodwin from iZombie, I don't know if you remember him. He played Clive on iZombie, and Malcolm Goodwin, he played the snitch in American Gangster, where Denzel's slamming the piano on him. Malcolm's taught me a lot, just from watching him. And he directed a little, well, I guess it's a teaser for a TV show that I created with my boy, Nathaniel Lawrence, rest in peace. And yeah, Malcolm's just such an amazing dude. So I was always, I watched and I was like, well, okay. So when I started doing my little things, like before, I started realizing that, oh, the Malcolm's method to his madness is something that I can understand. So when I started doing my little things and started directing and started doing my stuff, a lot of it has a touch of what Malcolm's brain, how his brain works from just watching and us being around each other and him directing the Blood Money pilot. So I directed a smaller piece of that, and then I started kind of doing little other things where I'm like, okay. But I've always been the person like, learn. Don't be the weakest link. Don't try to come in there and be the person that's so. I haven't done lots, but I was nervous. I was really scared. But Malcolm was like, "Come on, man, you can do it." I was like, "You sure?" Because I don't want to send you the footage, and then you get the footage, and then you're mad at me. And so I mean, yeah, I did, but I tried to always look at it like, you're gonna learn, but there's no such thing. And I used to do this a lot when especially when I work on set, whether it was in the locations department as a PA or ALM or whatever. No question is a stupid question. You know what I mean?
Love that.
It's not a dumb question. Yeah. Because if you ask, then you don't know.
Yeah.
And if you don't ask, that could be my job.
That's true. That's very true. I feel like you can always learn. There's always growth, and there's always going to be someone that knows more than you. And it's really important to surround yourself around people that you're always going to be growing and inspired by.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's important. I think a lot of people should really just think, you don't need to always see that there's that saying about trying to always be the smartest guy in the room. Sooner or later, people don't want you in the room.
Yeah.
So, well, since you know everything, why don't you go do something else? Like, did you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
true.
So I think that, the important thing, and I had to learn this now. I had to learn it from, my mom's always used to say things, and used to like, you learn as when you're trying to find yourself. It's because you're always trying to prove stuff to people. I was spinning my wheels for years, so everybody thinks, that what's happening for me right now is like, oh, this is you used to this. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm definitely not. But you know what I mean? I've always been in entertainment. I've always been somehow in music or whatever. Promoter, bringing in artists or something. So I'm not affected by any of this stuff. People seriously, if there was no masks, I mean, like when I don't, people be like, "Hey man, where do I know you from?" I'm like, "I don't know, bro." Like, but before people be looking at me and I'd be like, "Yo, what's the hell is this guy problem? Yo, you know me, cuz? You know me? Like you just, oh, hey man, I just thought you might look like the one dude from, oh, you know what? I'm my bad, bro. Like, yo, yeah, it's me. I'm just playing. I was just messing with you. I was gonna beat your ass.
And I love how humble you are. And I think that's why there's so much love for you from so many people, is that you're just really true to your voice. You're really with the people, you're really humble, and you're really wanting to educate people, and just really charming.
Well, I think that, what people forget, you know what I mean? Like, and especially a lot of celebrities that I think, unfortunately they forget that it's the public, it's the people that appreciate your work that puts you where you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you don't see that, then you're slow. Something's wrong with you. Get out the business.
Yeah.
True. And I think luckily for me, just being on both sides of the camera, being around the world, in a sense of like, I say being around the world, I meant being around the world in film and television, that whole world. And you realize it doesn't matter how big the star is. If you see this, when he answers his phone and his voice drop, oh, hey, babe. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And he start walking away from you like 300 feet. I'm like, oh, he deal with the same shit I do. He got a woman. You know what I'm saying? He regular.
I love that. We're all the same.
You got a bigger paycheck than me. It doesn't, and that's how my brain processes it. It processes.
Right.
If you cool, you cool. We cool. Yeah. If you're an asshole on set, what do I need to be a friend with the asshole for? Yeah. Like, I'll be a whole ass and be over here. Like,
I'm gonna take that tip from you, because I have I try to surround myself around really positive people, happy people. Hi, Sandra. Thank you for tuning in. But there have been a couple little hiccups, along the way. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to I really just, I can't.
Yeah,
I just can't.
Yeah. There's a reason why the backhand is real. You know and that twist drink now, I'm gonna buy a couple cases and just leave that in the crib. Couple in the car. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cover the backpack, you know what I'm saying?
I love it so much.
One you got to put one in the back of the hoodie, just in the hood. Man, what you talking about, man? No,
I love it. Everyone is laughing so hard. Thanks, guys. I love it. We're having a blast. So then what is your inspiration for when you're producing? Because I know producing is, so many people have had questions regarding what does a producer do? How do you even produce? What does it even entail?
a lot.
Yeah.
Well, you have to remember, like, there's certain levels of we're producing. So you got an executive producers with 9 out of 10 times, that's to do with the money. And then they get involved and start telling you how your movie or your script's going to go. You know what I'm saying? Because it's their money. Right? But then, and a lot of times an executive producer has a lot of say in the creative. Once again, because 9 out of 10 times it's their money. Usually the budget, you talk about the budget, you talk about so many different things.
Right.
And sometimes, you get the executive producer who might know actors. So they'll try to get actors. Or, just even the producer side of it, where producer might be like, yo, I'm going to go find money for you guys to help make the movie. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go try to, source out some actors. I'm going to try to find out, yeah, that's your wish list. We're going to do so. And, now we got to focus on making sure that we need this set or we need this area. So there's a lot of different things that a lot of producers do. So, you know what I mean? A lot of, you're looking at from budget to organizing cast, from getting crew members, from building the entire crew. And there's a lot that comes to it, but you're going to look at most of it's going to all come down to the dollars and cents and the budgets because producers are involved in that. And then it's also the producer will find and the executive producers will find the right production manager.
Okay.
To take care of your money. So being a producer, you're always constantly on the phone. Like actors need to fly in. You got to work out with the coordinator in the office. And so as a producer, yeah, you produce a lot of things in a sense of going, we need to make this thing keep moving, and they help keep the production going or however it is. Like it could be the slightest thing. Like, hey man, we need 4 cars over here. We need that. So now you got to go from producer to the executive producers, then to the network. So it's a lot. And the producer try to keep this whole ship running and keep it afloat and keep it moving. And there's a lot of hats that producers wear, and they don't get a lot of recognition for it, except for the title or, people are like, oh yeah, but understanding that, there's a lot that it takes to even create a movie. And or a television show. There's 100 and some odd people, but there's only a few people who get the props.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. It takes a team.
Yeah, and once you realize that, the hardest thing, the one thing that I had to learn about producing is communication.
Yeah,
communication is crazy. You're like, man, all y'all trying to think I got to CC everybody, all y'all, and y'all gonna all reply back to me, and I gotta read all of them. I didn't sign up for this. But yeah, it's definitely it's a job that I think that people praise it, but I don't think they understand that it should be glorified in a sense. And I hate to say it that way, because if it wasn't for the producers and the directors and everybody and producers, you really just working and getting the money and making this thing work, there would be no stars.
Yeah.
There would be no actors out there. Oh my God, I love him in this, or there would be none of that. None of that exists without the people behind the scenes who actually do a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah,
that's
true. That's true. Do you prefer to produce or to direct?
Oh man, directing is going to be I think it's got a longer way for me. Like I said, I want to learn. I want to learn from the best. I think that there's so many like great directors out there that and like I said, the type of person I am. Like I hate being the weakest link. Yeah. It's new for me. I love it. Like, don't get me wrong. I was like, oh, because your mind's going, and you making those little squares, and you start drawing out stuff. You're like, oh, I want him to look like this. He looks that way. He comes to the camera and he looks up. But you start doing. But no, you man, I mean, when directing, I obviously I want to learn. Like I said, Malcolm Goodwin. I mean, not just a great actor, an amazing actor. He's a wonderful director as well. You know, with the things where he's moving forward and he's doing. So, I like to learn from people as well. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Who would you want to work with?
As far as directors, or
As far as directing or producing or just even singing or anything.
man,
You have so many talents.
oh man, you really want to go there? Like, how much time we got? No. Well, I mean, like I said, okay, you got to remember the GOAT, yo, and happy birthday. Was yesterday was Denzel Washington. I think that everybody in your right mind would want to work with such a great talent like that. I would love to work with him. As far as music goes, man, there's just way too many.
There's so many incredible talents out there now.
You know, but Stevie Wonder is just one person I feel like I would love to just on a different note, just to you know, pick his brain. I was gonna say see what he was thinking, but wrong turn of words. I'm just playing.
Stevie Wonder, that would be incredible.
It would be dope. I'm so sorry for that one. But no, I just think that you look back to all like his music and just his talent and stuff like that. I think that you just be sitting there and you learn stuff and you pretend and tell people it's yours, that you thought about it and that you showed Stevie, because no one really gonna get that close.
True.
You go back to the studio lying. Like, let me show you something, man. You know what I'm saying? But now you gotta do it with your eyes closed. You gotta feel.
I love it. And you also have a radio show.
Yeah, I have a radio show it's called Hollywood North Radio, because being in Vancouver, British Columbia, we're called Hollywood North over here on this side in Canada. And yeah, so I thought that, I would develop a radio show based off of just trying to base around things were for myself. Like, a lot of people gave me opportunities. So, sometimes, as an artist, you don't care where your first song's played. The fact that it's just playing, it's being played on the radio. And I really understood that just coming up as an MC who you're just trying to get on the radio.
Yeah.
And so people are, no, you ain't got a budget? Okay, we can't. Sorry, bro. Like, it sound good though, but we. So I just started a platform, and just for the arts and anybody who's an entrepreneur or doing something in a sense of like, there's actors. So I tried to find a balance from up and comers to, celebrities at the same time, and, give people that opportunity to shine, like, and that's the crazy thing. Yeah. Even when you look at it, like I said, it takes 100 people to make a movie, but people want to talk to the top 4 cast.
Yeah. And
the director. They don't realize dude whose wife is mad at him because she ain't seen him and he did like 70 hours that week. He still got to get up on Saturday after a Friday. He got home at 6 a.m. and she's sitting there at like 10:30 in the morning staring at him until he opened his eyes, talking about, you want to go to Costco with me?
True. All the people are important. It's true. And I love that you highlight, other people that are talented and you help everyone shine. It doesn't just, have to be you shining. It takes everyone to shine.
You know what the problem is like, I think a lot of people, like, they really forget, like, your ego will always crush you.
Yeah.
It will always kill you. Yeah. Pride will murder you.
Yeah.
Your ego is something that will always be like, bro, I gotta bounce. I gotta go. Like, you know what I'm saying? When times get tough, and and if you're ignorant or you're cocky or you know what I mean? I'm confident. People are like, oh, you're cocky. No, I ain't cocky. I'm confident. That's your problem if you think I'm cocky. You need to figure out what you're doing. But I'm confident enough that, I could walk with my head high, I could walk with my chest out, in the sense of going like, I'm comfortable and happy with who I am. I don't need you to tell me and make me feel a certain way. And I think that's the problem a lot of the times, you know what I mean? And if you, it always comes back to like, do I love myself? Yeah, I love myself. You know what I mean? Do I love people? Yes, because I could sit there and say, treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yes, I love that so much. I'm such a huge believer in treating people with kindness and treating people how you want to be treated too, and letting everyone shine. You should be confident in your own skin, and the more they shine, the more you shine.
Yeah, it's a team effort. Like, I mean, and that's the thing with Hollywood North Radio. I do it with DJ Quiet Storm, where he was like the first dude. Like when I told him, he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm down." And I even talked to him while he was DJing in the club. I was like, "Hey, man, such and such. Just I wanted to have say I want to have 2 DJs because I had another DJ lined up." And then I was telling him, he's like, "Yeah, man, he's DJing. Yeah, man, I'm down. I'm down. I'm down. Shit, I got you." So that's how. So from right off the bat, and then John Rozier, where he does sports. With Western Sports with John Rozier. And then Naomi, she came in, which is Quiet Storm's sister. And she just basically came in. She had all the cameras set up. She's kind of, she did the associate producers kind of stuff, try to keep me on track because I'll be
nice.
I got that black guy DNA 15 minutes behind and I'm playing. So Naomi's that. So that's the core. Like that was the core 4. And you can't have a dream without other people believing in it in order for it to work. So, without them, there is no me, there is no Hollywood North Radio. So, just like with you with this platform, in order to have me on here, if you didn't have the brainchild and you didn't put the hard work into it, we both wouldn't be sitting here right now. So
yeah.
As much as you sitting here giving me props, I gotta give you props. Like, you know what I mean? For the fact that we're sitting here.
Thank you, love. Yeah, definitely. So what tips would you give someone who's wanting to go into producing?
I would say hell no, I'm just joking. To be honest with you, don't be afraid to ask questions. Like, I mean, there's a lot of information you can go on the internet to kind of tell you what a producer's got to do and all that stuff, but that's standard stuff. Things change by the minute. And I say, a lot of times you just just find out who you can shadow at first. Go and shadow them and figure that out, just make sure that you can go, oh, okay, when I go into it, I don't have to look like the fool. Yeah. Because there's a lot of things that you forget because there's 3 million things that you got to be on top of, depending on how big the cast is, how many background, how many, like you're working with everybody to figure out with all the departments, how we're going to do this. And it's like from A to Z. Yeah. I would say, at the end of the day, like, just the same with acting, do your homework. You don't need to front like, you can fake it, but you should ask questions for somebody who knows something before you fake it till you get to that part going, okay, I got that, figured that out.
Yes. I love that. Ask questions. Don't be scared to ask questions. And just go for it.
You can call me stupid, you can call me dumb, but I got the answer.
Yeah. True. Hey, the Vibe Show. Thank you for tuning in. Lots of love. Yeah, definitely. Was there anyone that you wanted to do a shout out to?
I just honestly, I'd like to just, like I said, I shouted out the core 4. Obviously, I just shout out everybody. I mean, actually, Miss Sunshine, she supports everything. Leslie Logan, like my PR. Everybody who's ever been a guest on Hollywood North Radio, and just thanks for believing in us and taking the time to do that. I'd like to shout out, Miss Jacqueline Valdez. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might not know it, but she can dance too. She's strong as hell. Strong as hell.
I can pole dance.
Yeah. And there's just so many people I need to shout out. My family, my kids, you know what I mean? Like everybody, everybody who believes in me and supports me and supports what I'm doing as far as Hollywood North Radio and just me as my agent. Actually, sorry, I want to big up my agent, Roxanne Kinsman, over at Nuance Talent Management out here in Vancouver, BC. She's, oh my God, like I'll never leave her. She's going to be my agent for life. She looks out for me. Mm-hmm. Anytime I could book a role and the description says Asian American male and I book it, that's an agent for me. This is the only Asian thing about me. But yeah, I mean, there's some. I mean, I think I know I'm forgetting a lot of people as far as like when it comes to that shout out aspect. But anybody who knows me just knows it's all love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big shout to everybody at the Kidney Foundation. I'd like to shout them out. For those of y'all, I had a kidney transplant 2016. A lot of y'all might not know that. So I was a walking dead man, and without somebody being a donor, you know, I wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation with y'all. So don't forget to sign your donor cards. And, you know, trust me, you know, you don't realize you'd be helping like 8 to 16 people, like just signing it. Right. So, who else? Diabetes Foundation. I have diabetes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so y'all know I ain't taking no vaccine. You know what I'm saying?
I love that even through all of the struggles that you've had, you're just really following your dream and making your passion happen. And it's so exciting that you're here. You know, obviously there's a bigger path for you and you have some angels and God watching after you to really make an impact.
Yeah, that's my mom and my auntie, Auntie Cynthia, and my mom, Sylvia Stewart.
Oh.
Yeah, I believe that. Well, because see, this actually leads into what we're okay. This is good. Thank you, because now I need to express this because this is a part where I say this is a part of me where I like really start to, and I've been. It just seems like lately this is what I have to kind of say and kind of do. Okay. 2000, like last year, December 2nd, I was in a really crazy car accident on set.
Oh wow!
Where my friend of mine, he was a transport driver. He had a seizure when I was in the vehicle with him, and yeah, you talk about heading for a 5-ton and swerving, and I had to get up and swerve from that, and then we were about to hit the building, swerve from that, and then there was a big transformer, 750,000 watt transformer. We were heading for it, but because I knew the property, I knew that's not the way we want to go. So then I grabbed the wheel, but it was because his hands were so stiff, and he was seized, so it was floored. This was like a 15-passenger transport vehicle with the Ford GT engine plus with the turbo. So we had dodged from that, and I had to hit his arm off the wheel in order to get to where we were. And then we ended up launching into this blueberry bush. Oh my
gosh.
And we landed, it was like, I think it was 56 feet down low or 60-something feet, 56 feet. And then we actually stopped 150 feet because I saw the gear shift. It was right in the middle of the console. But before, when I was trying to hit the steering wheel because they tell us hit it out of gear, but my brain automatically went to them old ass cars that they have us driving when we first start out doing stuff. Because if it crashes, they don't care. But yeah, so I found it and I slammed it into park, and we were 8 feet from a 250 foot drop. So, wow. And then when I turn over and look, he's choking on his tongue. I pull his tongue out of his mouth. People are like, you should have never put your hands in his mouth. He could have bit your finger off. I'm like, yeah, but he alive though. Like, what you talking about? Like, I'm supposed to just watch? Like, yeah, I could, but I might bite my finger off. You know what I'm saying? But it was crazy because when his teeth came down, my fingernail looked like bull horns.
Oh my gosh!
But it's crazy when you think of how much saliva at the time and what's going on. Like, his actually saliva probably saved me while I still have this finger. I'd have to be like, oh, it's that way. You know what I mean? But
wow.
But yeah, so when you think about stuff like that, I had to go in and I had to take counseling, and I'm still doing that, like, because I'm PTSD, and I was questioning myself, why am I here? And I was like, wow, you got kids and family, you got with your wife and everybody's around you. So but I had to make that call. Right. I had to make that call to the union and talk about, hey, look, da da da. So I was lucky enough to have that support. So mental health is a big thing. I mean, you see people, so many celebrities are so behind these. Taraji's like really an advocate for that. Yeah. So many other, but for myself, I believe, like, once again, everything happens for a reason. You're put in a position to be able to talk about these kind of things, and people realize there's hotlines. There's so many other places. There's people you can talk to. Yeah. Once you start seeing people start giving away their PlayStation 5s and their cars and say, I don't worry about it and blah, 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 you need to really watch that person. Because, you know what I mean? Now, we're trying to make light of it, but, you really need to kind of watch those kind of signs because, you just never know. Like, it just takes one little thing, and then you're just like, oh, like the person mentally, it's just like, they're like, yo, I had enough. But yeah. So it's very important for people to do that. But we're going to change it. We're going to lighten it up a little bit now. You got another
an incredible story. Thank you for sharing that with me. Sunshine said you are meant to be here. There's so much love for you. The Vibe Show said they love you too. Very deep. Thank you for sharing. Yes. And I lost my dad to kidney failure. He was diabetic. And then I have lost a loved one to suicide with mental health issues. So I totally understand. So I am praying for you. And I'm so glad that you're here.
I'm good though. Like, I mean, that's the thing. Like I said, you know, had I not done, I'm good. Like, cause I wasn't answering my phone. I know, like, my phone always is like, I wasn't answering my phone. I'll call you back. And then you start, like, I remember I looked at the clock. It was 2 p.m. And and then I looked at the clock again, and it was like 6:15. And I just remember looking, going like, what the hell was going on for the last 4 hours? And I was just sitting in my car. Wow. I was on set, sitting in my car, and I remember it was light out and it was dark when I kind of snapped out because somebody knocked on the window. Hey, sleeps, you know, hot snack is, or whatever. I was like, what? What are you talking about? But yeah, so the crazy thing is though is like I believe that when you say this angels, I think my mom and my aunties helped me survive that. And then I was going 3 days later was my aunt's funeral. Oh, so I wasn't even in there. And so I went to do that, came back, and I'm sitting in the car going like, man.
Wow.
My brain is just like there's lost and then a possible loss and then your homie. And then so it was a lot all at one time of, and then still trying to figure out how to grieve because stuff was going on. And for the first time in my life, for me to even question that kind of threw me off.
Wow. Yeah.
You know what I mean? For me, because I'm usually the dude be like, lift your head high, don't worry about it. Jesus is gonna say, no, I'm not that bad. But I'll be like, I'm pretty much the I have a dream dude. Like, hey man, don't worry about it. You got this. No. How can I help? You know what I mean? So
that's such a good example to show that everyone can have those moments of confusion and not, full clarity and, dark times and heartache times.
Yep. And you know me, I don't get no darker than this. So I wasn't even trying to I don't know what was going to happen. It can't even be blue because I'm going purple next. That's my next thing. Can't even.
Purple's my favorite color. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, so you just kept pushing through and staying positive, and you have been just working on creating so many things. What things do you have coming up for you?
Oh man, I know what we want to get out of this whole mess. You know what? But it can only get better from here. Like that's the good part about it. There's a show on YouTube called Cloud Van Tales, and I was on that for episode. I started in episode 15, and Ryan, he's the creator of the show, and now I started episode 15. Then by that time, I think I did another episode. I think it was 21 or something. I did a couple. There's a few. I did about 3 or 4 episodes, and we started talking. And Ryan and Kofi and those guys who were other producers and stuff asked me to come on as a producer as well. So we'll be producing that. So I play a really exaggerated version of myself in these 3 dudes who own who work at this marijuana shop dispensary. And I go in, and the first episode is called Seth Rogen because they want me to get Seth Rogen to see if he'll sponsor the shop, and it just doesn't go right. And my character always somehow with the way things work out, because I leave with not paying for my stuff, so it's crazy. But there is going into season 2, it'll start to explain how and why this whole scenario keeps happening. And then there's a good story behind it, and so that for me getting involved was the biggest part for me. Was now I was able to work with my friends on the comedy aspect of it, because not a lot of people have comedy reels, and that's a big thing nowadays. Like when you find the holes, you got to fill them. So I thought, hey, what a better way to kind of work with your friends. And Ryan was so cool with it, and everybody was just cool with the fact of I could bring these people in. So I was like, let me bring my actor friends in it. We could all everybody gets a comedy reel pieces out of it. So Cloud Van Tales, you can catch that, man. It's crazy. When I saw I appear in episode 15. If you ever seen Trailer Park Boys, it's pretty much like the Trailer Park Boys for marijuana and the weed shop and the nonsense that goes on, and I think it's well written and
nice.
yeah, so there's that, and working with Crystal Manning and Antoinette Titus on a project that we got coming called Black Kings and Black Queens. It's all based around health and wellness and mental health as well, and fitness. So we're going to be launching that pretty soon. What else we got popping? Working on a cartoon with Crystal. Can't tell y'all too much. Crystal Manning, can't tell you, and Antoinette Titus and my boy Ben. We can't tell you too much about that, but it's a cartoon. You know, cartoon with black folk.
It's so exciting. I can't wait to tune into all these things. We'll have to follow up and get more info when it comes out.
Oh, for sure. What else? I'm working on some apps. I'm working on trying to develop some apps and trying to diversify the portfolio. I figure everything's at your fingertips. And I ain't trying to work that hard after that. I ain't trying to
I love it. Just set everything up organically.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, one of our biggest problems is we have ideas and we never try to figure out ways to implement them. So one thing I realized now is like, why don't I just start to kind of write it out, get it going, talk to the people, coders. And then, what a lot of people don't really think to look for is to look for government funding. There's a lot of the times like you're sitting there and you're just like, oh, y'all gonna give me free money to develop my what I want to do. So you got to look into all those things as grants and all those kind of things. So I just started to do that now because I don't know really what Corona's going to do. Because if they got one that which one was it? Something came out of Europe or Spain, like it's a new form of it.
Yeah. Like a mutation, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm good, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah.
I don't know, but people, you can see the future, right? Coronavirus ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, that's very true. You've inspired me to look into some grants too for my show. So
yeah. I mean, yeah, hell yeah. Find a black person, get those black people grants too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
I love it so much.
Black grants matter.
That you are a real positive king.
Black grants matter, baby. You know what I mean?
I love it so much.
Okay.
Sunshine said that you should have a documentary.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know if people are going to find it that interesting. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff, I guess, if I was to do it. But I mean, people are saying, "Oh, you should write a movie." I'm like, yeah, but a lot of people gonna get in trouble. So I don't know, like, I don't know if it's a good idea. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to all of a sudden go missing. Like, damn, he's almost finished the movie.
I love it so much. How do you keep yourself so centered with everything going on, all these projects and everything?
I think you got to find time. I actually am writing a script for Farrah Hodgson. And she's a great writer. Confessions of a Single Mother. You can go look up the books. They got them on Amazon. There's 3 books. I'm writing that one for turning that book into a TV series. I'm writing the pilot now. And the crazy thing was it was done and then I lost it on the computer. It was just like, so it was like bits and pieces. The dude had to kind of look and figure it out. So now I'm kind of going because I'm trying to fit in my head and see all the scenes, but it's kind of say I always look at the best things are always rewritten. That was from the late great Tom Rowe, who was kind of a mentor to me and really looked out for me. But yeah, so I'm working on that too. So I'm understanding that. Sometimes, she's like, no, I don't care. Like, we gotta keep it raw. This is what happened. I'm like, you sure about that? I don't think I'll show that on TV. But,
I love it. Was there anything else that you wanted to tell the viewers?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, be safe. I mean, and I understand that the world's changing, and I said this on another platform before, and I think that it's something that I should kind of keep for us to understand. Is that, as we come out, and I know people have these issues with like wearing masks. I don't want to wear a mask, and you can't tell me I can wear a mask. I think back, and I got to think, it wasn't just too long ago that we were thinking about, Black Lives Matter and all lives matter. And you know what I mean. We're grieving over deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, like you know what I mean. So you think of all the other deaths that so many other people have, and people were affected by these things, and you could have the audacity to say, you know, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. Well, then all y'all should put on a mask, because if all lives matter or Black Lives Matter, listen, you put it on for half an hour, maybe tops. You go to the grocery store, maybe an hour. You know what I'm saying? Get some air, put it back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you can't sit there and come off all that. Yeah. And then come to talking about, I don't need to wear no mask. And, you know, the one thing, the most important thing that I keep trying to stress is that it's going like, these actions are what kids see. Yeah. And when kids see you acting a fool, you already know kids are slow until they get to the age of, especially men, till they get the age of 48. Men just don't get it right away. You know what I'm saying? Like, just joking. But I mean, like, no, on a serious note, it's like you have to remember they're the future. Like, so when you do things and for what we're doing, especially in something like a pandemic, and that's our behavior, they see this. Like, don't get it twisted. Yeah. Like, they see everything. You know, so I'm just trying to tell people, like, you know, if we're going to go back and talk about the children of the future, and Whitney said it best, so I'm saying, I believe the children are the future, our future. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Teach them well and let them lead the way. I hope that's the lyrics. But, you know, I think that we need to really take a step back and go, like, you know, we have a driver's license. You just got to get a driver's license to drive. You know, some people don't wear them. I guess those are the people who don't want to wear masks. But at some point, you're going to get stopped, you're going to get caught, and you're going to have to get one. Yeah. Right? So there's so many things, like, if you can look at it and we can crush this pandemic and at least get the numbers down to the point where it's one of those things where it's a seasonal thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where we could prepare ourselves for it. We can get back to normal. You know what I mean? People ain't got to be worried about $600 or $2,000 that really ain't coming every month. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at it, that $2,000 is so important to so many people, and that shouldn't even be an issue, because most people can go to work and make more than that in a month. So I figure, you know, throw your mask on. Let's get through it. If you got asthma, well, then you should be wearing a mask, because it's either you wear the mask and hopefully you survive this, or you're dead. Like, it affects the lungs. Hello. But I mean, this is my opinion. You know what I mean? I'm not a doctor. I just kind of feel like, you know, if we can, like, crush the numbers, the economy can back, people will feel more safe to travel. And,
agreed. It's important. Yeah. Wear your mask, guys, please.
Yeah. So let's, you know what? I hated the phrase when it first came out, but all lives matter. Yeah. Yeah. True. True. Yes. What is it that you want to be remembered for? Oh man, I just, whatever's in your head. I don't really care. I mean, I don't really, you know, that question I've been asked before, and I kind of thought about it. I was like, remember, I don't know, just remember me. Remember what relationship we've had, in the sense of, like, how we communicated or whatever. That's to remember me for. If it comes to anything for film and television or stuff like that, yo, I hope made y'all laugh, made you cry. You know what I mean? Like, Coffee and Kareem will make you laugh. Torn Dark Bullets might make you cry. You know, so. You know what, to be honest with you, Jacqueline, what do you remember for? I have no idea. I don't even know if I've gotten to the point where I'd be like, this is what I want everybody to remember. I don't know. I'm happy-go-lucky. Yeah. Yeah. And you are remembered for making people laugh. You've made me laugh this entire time. You've made our viewers laugh, and you have touched my heart very much so. I have so much love for you. I appreciate it. And you're such a huge inspiration. You know, thank you. You can do anything you want. You put your mind to it, or you just ask people around you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you can't do something, then your Wi-Fi is out, because I can find everything on Google and YouTube. True. You don't know. What do you mean? Google or YouTube it. Yeah. It has. You learn how to build houses on YouTube. And you can't find out like fix the. You know what I mean? Very true. I have to say, I worked on my house last year from YouTube. See? There you go. Oh, nothing. You didn't have to pay for school.
I love it so much. It has been such a pleasure and so much fun. And I could talk to you all day.
Hey, I told you ain't got no time limit. You can ask whatever you want. Keep going.
I love it so much. We've had such a blast. Everyone is going to, Sunshine said she's going to remember that EP thing.
The executive producer.
I love it. Yes, it has been such a pleasure and such an honor. And thank you for illuminating the world with your presence.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I hope one day they're going to be like, man, why we let this fool in?
Never. Never. I'm so excited to follow everything. And we will have all of your information posted in the interview once we are done, too. So that way people can go and follow you and see your stuff.
Yeah, big _ sleeps. Because the other guy who got the whole big sleeps, he getting a lot of people following him. Big _ sleeps.
Underscore sleeps. We love you. So much love for you. The Vibe Show. Gotta love sleeps.
Love the Vibe Show. And then, yeah, I'd love to come back. So,
Yes, let's do it. We will have a second time.
Let's come back for a question and answer period.
All right. Sounds good. So much love. Thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure. Thank you guys for tuning in to Live with Jacqueline Valdez, illuminating the world one voice at a time. Thank you guys. Lots of love. Thank you, Sunshine, for the sweet words. Appreciate it. Bye, guys.